What's going on? Oh, Detroit Lions in review. We won. We beat the Green Bay Packers, which is good. We beat the Green Bay Packers as expected. We were favored in Las Vegas by 2 or 3 points. Obviously, Green Bay, they have problems. Like every other NFL team that has to play through problems or injuries. Those are problems. Every NFL team has to play through injuries. Our secondary, we just signed some guy 2 days ago, and he was starting at a cornerback. I don't even know their names. So the fact that the Detroit defensive line won this game and literally scored more points than the Green Bay Packers offense goes to show you that they won the game. They locked down the game. They won the game. It wasn't because of the Detroit's offense was prolific. I mean, if you look like Green Bay game planned around Calvin Johnson, okay, let's stop him. And so what else is there left? Golden Tate or Brandon Tate, whatever his name is. And that's it. And the defensive line just took away the ball, stuffed the run, made them one-dimensional. Aaron Rodgers tried to beat us, and that's it. So if we know we stuffed the run, this is what Detroit, all they had to do. If we know we could stuff the run, then we know they don't have the offensive line to block us, and that's why we're going to get sacks on Aaron Rodgers, and we're going to rush him, and he's going to hurry him up because he doesn't have an offensive line. He's going to throw the ball, and he's going to mess up. So that's basically the game in a nutshell. I mean, it was a great game plan by Jim Caldwell. I mean, literally, if you look at it, I mean, he's a prolific thrower. If you stop the running game, what's left? That's it. So they're going to come in and rush him and sack him. That's what the game plan was, and that's why our defense scored more points than their whole offense, and we stopped them, and it's a great divisional win. I mean, I think we beat them twice out of 16 times, so that's huge for us. And the division's really weak. All we have to do is worry about is Chicago. Although Bridgewater looks really good, I think it was Castle was hurt, and then Bridgewater came in the game, and he's really one of those mobile, fast quarterbacks that you have to plan for in a dual threat. But our defensive line, we played against Michael Vick, so we've seen that before. Early days of Sue, and we're not too worried about it. And Cutler, he's just terrible, so we don't have to worry about that either. I think we should win this division. How far do we go in the playoffs? I'm going to predict if everybody stays healthy on the defensive line and the offensive core, I say we make it to the second round, and that's about it. I mean, I don't think that once we get into elite status, our secondary will get picked apart. I mean, obviously when we played Carolina Panthers last week, they were just a better team, and they beat us. And they just showed. They were a playoff team last year, and it showed. So I don't think the Lions, they're probably going to make the playoffs, and at best second round if they're lucky. I think next week we take on the Jets. The Jets have Geno Smith. I mean, he's improving every week, but I don't think, they've seen the defensive line like ours. And if you look at the games that they were played last week between the Jets and the Packers, it was just a high-scoring affair. I mean, you should expect Calvin Johnson, even though we're going on the road, and Detroit does not play well on the road. But you should expect Calvin Johnson to at least have a touchdown next week. It's been 2 weeks he hasn't had a touchdown. So fantasy-wise, I picked him the last 2 weeks on my fantasy, and he's killed me. So I'm gonna have to start looking for matchups and try to take an easier way to get some better points out of the matchups. But overall, I'm satisfied with the Lions. Just like every other team, there's a lot more building to do. And when guys get injured, you need a little bit of luck. Fortunately, if we game plan like we do and we could stop the run on a lot of teams, then we could take this model that we use today, and if we could use our defensive line to force teams to throw against us, that's pretty easy. If we could beat Aaron Rodgers at home, which is a +1 to us, but if we could beat teams that are throwing teams and we could stop the run, that don't have that many weapons. Aaron Rodgers probably doesn't have that many receiving weapons. But if we could use this formula, we could go pretty far. I look at the rest of our schedule until we get to Miami. They look like winnable games, but it is the NFL and everybody is pro, so anything could happen. unless you're with the Jacksonville Jaguars, you're probably gonna get blown out every week. So, but they do have Bortles or something like that. He came out, he was doing good. So anyways, that's my thing for this week. I think, like I said, special teams, I need to fire the kicker, fire the special teams coach. The D-back, the secondary looked really good according to the game plan. Usually when the defensive line steps up, our secondary just takes a turd, but everybody's new on there, and it's like probably their last chance in the NFL, so they're all playing really hard, which is really good for us. The offense, it looks like Stafford is just trying too hard, trying to force. I don't see where he's throwing balls at. He's trying to throw triple coverage to Johnson. It just isn't working. Nobody's falling for that anymore. We need to open up some leak passes. I know Reggie Bush went off today. I knew they were going to key whatever you run last week, they're going to key on the next week. So it's been 2 weeks for Johnson. So I think we need to work on some other plays. We got Broyles and other receivers on the team. The tight end didn't even catch it. I don't even think the tight end even caught a pass this game. But that's it, my review of this week in review. Lions win 19-7. They should have scored the other 3 points with the kicker. Freeze froze up. He choked. I can't kick any NFL. But anyways, until next time, it's your boy Fizz. Peace. See you next week.